more time. You shall never reach the surface.
Strap in, people, because we're diving sword first into the grimiest taverns, darkest dungeons, and most dangerously addictive isometric rabbit holes ever pixel-crafted. This list is packing games where your choices echo through kingdoms, where loot has backstories, and where your morality meter takes more hits than your health bar. These 15 isometric legends will leave your mouse worn out and your soul very entertained. This is the hard-boiled list. Let's crack this grid open.
War never changes. The Romans waged war to gather slaves and wealth. Spain built an empire from its lust for gold and territory.
Fallout 1. You wake up in a metal coffin surrounded by concrete walls and fluorescent lights that haven't flickered in over a century. The water chip's dead. Everyone's dehydrated. That's pretty much the vibe here. And guess who they send to fix it? That's right, you, the guy with nothing but a jumpsuit, a pistol, and the nerve to face a radioactive sandbox full of psychopaths, cannibals, and oversized iguanas with bad attitudes. This ain't a world for the morally clean or the tactically dumb. You talk, sneak, shoot, or get disintegrated, those are your choices. Out there, bottle caps are more valuable than gold. Charisma might get you a date or a bullet, and your special stats? They're your life. Dialogue trees are more tangled than a wasteland cactus, and just when you think you're helping someone, boom, you've accidentally made their cousin your enemy. There's no black or white here, only glowing green and scorched red. The turn-based combat is tactical, savage, and full of limb-shattering precision if you aim just right. And when you finally fix the vault's plumbing, don't expect a parade. Sometimes the worst monsters are the people behind steel doors. Welcome to the apocalypse. Hope you packed extra stim packs and moral flexibility. Planescape Torment. Pretty much like our previous game, you wake up naked, tattooed, and dead. Again. Your guide? A floating, wisecracking skull who's basically your rotting Jiminy Cricket. Morality isn't black and white here, but a sprawling shade of philosophical gray. And the setting, Sigil, City of Doors, is like if Kafka redesigned a D&D campaign while sleep-deprived and high on existential dread. Combat? Optional. Talking your way out of death? Encouraged, wisdom and charisma? More dangerous than swords. The main objective? Figure out who you were, what you've done, and why you can't stay dead. Oh, and why that damn question, what can change the nature of a man, keeps haunting you like a fortune cookie from hell. Gameplay lets you switch classes midlife crisis, slap magical tattoos on your skin instead of armor, and travel planes with a team of metaphysical misfits who have tangled with you across lifetimes. The isometric engine drips with painterly dread, and death just means waking up in a morgue with worse memory than before. There's no loot grind, no fetch quest treadmill, just a mountain of dialogue choices, moral dilemmas, and identity crises packed in digital prose so rich it should be illegal. One of the rare RPGs where brains beat brawn, every time.
The infected hear the voice of the Absolute, and believe it to be a god.
The Absolute is more dangerous than you can possibly conceive.
Baldur's Gate 3. Can you imagine being inside in a squishy alien hellship with a parasite in your skull and zero memory of how things went sideways? The only thing worse than the tentacled facehuggers on board? The fact that the tadpole inside your head is slowly turning you into one of them. Crash landing onto Faerun, you begin a desperate journey to find a cure, only to realize every so-called solution is a bigger curse wrapped in plot armor and divine politics. The gameplay leans deep into Dungeons & Dragons 5e mechanics, mixing top-tier tactical turn-based combat with rich dialogue trees and dice-driven chaos. Every encounter, whether it's a friendly goblin with a grudge or a sentient brain in a jar, can be resolved through combat, conversation, or some beautifully ridiculous third option involving grease spells and explosive barrels. You'll explore everything from haunted shadowlands to corrupted cities, all while juggling companion quests, moral quandaries, and the slowly unraveling mystery behind a cult known only as the Absolute. Diablo II. Evil doesn't stay dead. It just respawns with more lava and sharper horns. You thought you were done after sealing the Lord of Terror away? Nope. He's back, and this time, he's brought his flaming brothers, a bunch of corrupted angels, and half the underworld for company. The quest? Chase this red-skinned fiend across deserts, jungles, and literal hellscapes before he turns the world into a demonic buffet. Along the way, you'll bash cultists, slaughter goatmen, and fight off sentient trees with deep abandonment issues. Gameplay is the beating, loot-stuffed heart of it all. You'll pick one of 7 classes, each with wildly distinct playstyles, from lightning-fast assassins to necromancers commanding skeleton armies like a gothic Pokemon trainer. Combat is fast, brutal, and deliciously crunchy. Maps and dungeons shift with every run, so no 2 sessions play the same. And then there's the loot. Glorious randomized loot. Socketed armor, rune words, unique items with backstories, and cursed rings that might just get you killed. Hades. Every family's got issues, but this one includes a passive-aggressive god of death, an overachieving Olympian uncle who throws lightning tantrums, and a mother who ghosted the entire underworld. You play as Zagreus, the rebellious son of Hades, trying to jailbreak from literal hell because dad won't talk about feelings and mom's chilling somewhere in Greece. Every escape attempt is a gloriously doomed sprint through a mythological meat grinder, and every death, just another awkward walk of shame back to the house. One second you're dashing through lava while slicing demons mid-air, the next you're being insulted by a sentient boulder or seduced by Dionysus into throwing party bombs. Each weapon changes how you play, and the boons, godly gifts that stack and synergize, make every run a fresh cocktail of chaos. Add in permanent upgrades, swappable skills, secret relationships, and the occasional underworld contractor building a fish tank, and you've got rogue-like perfection. And the story? It's a soap opera dipped in ambrosia. You'll chase mom, charm Thanatos, and awkwardly bond with your infernal coworkers. Escaping hell isn't just a goal, it's therapy. And Hades? He's not mad, just disappointed. Forever. Final Fantasy Tactics. It begins with a church-sanctioned cover-up, a corpse of truth buried under centuries of royal spin, and one guy with a bad haircut and a worse last name, Beowulf. This is a bloody chess match dressed up as a divine prophecy. You're stuck right in the middle of a kingdom unraveling after a long war, where backstabbing nobles, holy relics, and literal demons are all vying for the throne and your soul. Gameplay slices deep into tactical turn-based combat on isometric battlefields where elevation, terrain, and weather actually matter. Units take turns based on a hidden speed stat, and positioning your party just right can mean the difference between a win and a one-shot disaster. But the real black magic here, that absurdly flexible job system? Turn a monk into a wizard, equip a lancer with summoning spells, slap a chemist's item skills onto a samurai, and suddenly you're breaking the game like a true metamancer. With over 20 jobs, countless passive abilities, and second skill slots to mix and match, it's a system that rewards experimentation, strategy, and downright evil builds.
My father has Colorado in the palm of his hand, and he's afraid to close his fist. I am not.
Wasteland 3? You'd think trudging through nuclear snowdrifts while strapped with a flamethrower would be enough drama. But oh no, this one goes full political opera with bullets, cannibals, and ice-cold betrayals. After a catastrophic ambush, you and your last surviving squad mates are stranded in frozen Colorado, where civilization wears a cowboy hat, and every handshake might come with a side of landmines. The local ruler, the charming yet terrifying patriarch, offers to help your starving home state, Arizona, in exchange for one tiny favor: bring his 3 maniacal children under control. You know, the usual parenting stuff. With turn-based tactics that'll test your squad synergy and a darkly hilarious script dripping in grim Americana, every firefight feels like a test of wit and will. Choices matter, like really matter. You might secure power for a desperate town or accidentally blow up their food supply mid-debate. Decisions ripple across a world where ethics are slippery and alliances are as stable as a nuke-powered snowplow.
Shaping the attitudes and urges of a fallible psyche. Bruising the tissues of another world.
Disco Elysium. You regain consciousness in a trashed hostel room, head pounding, mirror cracked, and absolutely no clue who or what you are. Congratulations, you're the lead detective on a murder case. Problem is, you can't remember your name, your job, or how pants work. Also, you might be hallucinating the ceiling. Welcome to the city of Revachol, where the past won't stay buried and your thoughts demand a seat at the dialogue table. Gameplay skips swords, spells, and stats in favor of philosophical breakdowns and moral dilemmas. Every action, lighting a cigarette, accusing a child of arson, or contemplating communism, hinges on skill checks tied to your psyche. With 24 talking skills in your brain, yes, they argue, your biggest boss battle might be an internal shouting match about how cool your tie looks. The thought cabinet lets you equip existential dread, political ideologies, or a desire to live in a dumpster for loot efficiency. Shadowrun Dragonfall. Berlin's calling, and it's all anarchist graffiti, cybernetic regrets, and dragons that won't stay dead. You're a Shadowrunner, basically a magically confused hacker mercenary who just joined a crew of edgy misfits for a routine data theft that goes spectacularly sideways when your leader dies whispering Feuerschwinge. You know, as in the Firewing, a dragon who once tried to barbecue Germany. Yeah, welcome to the team. I swear the gameplay hits like a caffeine-fueled game of XCOM with tattoos and shotguns. You've got cover-based tactics, spells, drones, and a troll with a rocket launcher. Every character, Iger, Glory, Dietrich, brings unique backstories and trauma to the field, and thanks to the director's cut, you can explore their pasts and feelings between firefights. You'll bounce between jobs that fund your resistance against corporate evil and cultist weirdos, while making choices that could literally resurrect or doom the world.
Avatar! Know that Britannia has entered into a new age of enlightenment.
Ultima 7, The Black Gate. It starts with your monitor glitching out and a red-faced interdimensional egomaniac hijacking your screen like he's got a dial-up line straight to hell. Moments later, you're back in Britannia, older, confused, and staring down a grisly murder in a peaceful town. Welcome to a land soaked in paranoia, cult propaganda, and murders dressed up as spiritual enlightenment. There's something rotten beneath the surface, and spoiler, it's wearing a fellowship pin. Gameplay throws you into a fully mouse-driven, real-time sandbox that laughs in the face of grid-based restrictions. Everything, books, bread, candlesticks, corpses, is interactable. Want to forge a sword? Go for it. Want to paint a self-portrait while your companions puke from drinking too much? That's fair game. The world runs like a living clock, with NPCs following schedules and reacting to your crimes. Steal too much, and even your allies might bail, or try to kill you.
In a world forsaken by the gods, the people need you to become their next divinity. Before you venture forth into the huge and sprawling realm of Rivellon, however...
Divinity Original Sin 2. Welcome to Fort Joy, a place where hope goes to die, unless you're a God-woken, aka divine candidate with anger issues. You'll gather a party of beautifully broken weirdos, escape an island full of source-hating maniacs, steal a talking ship, and maybe ascend to godhood, or nuke religion altogether. You'll chain lightning through wet skeletons, teleport oil barrels into enemy laps, and summon a blob made of blood that slaps people. Every spell synergizes with the world. Electric puddles, cursed fire, and poison clouds all dancing together in glorious turn-based violence. And you're not locked into classes. Make a pyromancer tank or a necromancer rogue with a flair for geometry. It all works somehow. Dialogue trees have more branches than Rivellon's forests, and every choice splinters reality a little more. NPCs remember everything, and consequences hit like a lava totem to the face. In the end, you'll choose who controls the source, yourself, the world, or the eternal darkness. Or maybe you'll just flirt with lizards. No judgment.
forced to kneel. You are a fate binder, an instrument of Kairos, the overlord that controls this world. Your will is law.
Tyranny. Released in 2016 by Obsidian Entertainment and published by Paradox Interactive, Tyranny is an isometric role-playing game built on the same foundation as Pillars of Eternity. But unlike most RPGs, this one doesn't start with a prophecy or a chosen hero. It begins after the war is over. Evil has already won. The Overlord Kairos has conquered nearly the entire world of Tyradus, and you, the player, are a fate binder, judge, jury, and sometimes executioner in service of the regime. Your role isn't to stop evil, it's to manage it. Set in a world shifting from bronze to iron, Kairos' empire is ruled by godlike beings called Archons, each imbued with magical power and absolute authority over their domains. These include Tunon the Adjudicator, your direct superior, Bleedin Mark, the shadowy executioner, and Graven Ash and the Voices of Norrath, two rival generals whose civil war you're sent to end, or exploit. The game kicks off in the Tiers, the last free region under Kairos' control. With a rebellion surging and Kairos growing impatient, you're dispatched to enforce one of Kairos' edicts, world-altering spells that can level armies and cities. Either end the rebellion fast, or everyone in the region dies, including you. But here's the twist. By fulfilling edicts, absorb their power. Your fate becomes tied to the ancient spires scattered across the land, and as you unlock their secrets, your influence and threat to Kairos grows.
By the divine authority of the High Templar, you are hereby exiled.
Path of Exile. You wake up on a cursed beach with nothing but a loincloth and a chip on your shoulder. Congratulations, you've been banished to Rayclast, where the weather is brutal, the skeletons are angry, and every local ruin hides a dark god with major abandonment issues. But don't worry, you're not just some unlucky reject. You're an exile with a destiny, a very click-heavy, loot-hoarding destiny. This is a Diablo-inspired fever dream that never hits the brakes. The skill tree is a galaxy map of regret. Your fireball spell can split, bounce, and explode on contact, as long as you socket it in armor linked like a subway system. Loot reigns like a slot machine meltdown, but there's no gold here, just scrolls, orbs, and crafting madness that turns hoarders into philosophers. Gameplay is crunchy, character builds are limitless, and every few months the devs drop a new league with fresh gimmicks, like farming, heists, or literally fighting your past self. Bosses get biblical, and the plot turns from killing corrupted colonizers to fighting actual gods who accidentally got out of bed. By the end, you're not just surviving Rayclast. You're rewriting its apocalypse in blood, lightning, and perfectly optimized DPS.
This city was doomed. With the seeds of evil sown long before it fell, Canabris ended up in flames.
Pathfinder Wrath of the Righteous. Demons pour out of a magical hole in the world like angry bats from a hellish piñata. And guess what? You're the poor soul everyone decides should fix it. After surviving a surprise attack in a city named Canabres, try saying that 3 times fast while bleeding, you suddenly awaken with absurdly overpowered mythic abilities. No one knows why. You don't know why. But congratulations, you're now in charge of the 5th Crusade, which means you'll be juggling demon genocide with kingdom management and dialogue trees that could ignite a philosophical crisis. This is a sword and sorcery and tax form. The isometric combat system is rich, tactical, and customizable, real-time with pause or fully turn-based. And the mythic path system? Absolute chaos in the best way. Become an angel of holy retribution, a lich with a skeleton squad, or a trickster who gaslights reality. Every path radically changes your dialogue, quests, and even the game's ending.
Champions of Norrath, thank you for answering my call in what may be our darkest hour. The unthinkable has happened.
Champions of Norrath. Welcome to the land where elves, orcs, vampires, and rage-fueled gods all RSVP to the same apocalypse party. And you're the bouncer. You start off just helping elves who are weirded out that orcs are suddenly besties with goblins. Suspicious. But things escalate faster than a D&D campaign gone off the rails. Before you know it, you're diving into underworlds, smacking vampires in the face and having an awkward meet and greet with Inaruk, the literal god of hatred. Yes, really. Combat is gloriously hack and slashy with a hint of, oh no, I forgot to bring healing potions. You'll choose your race and class, slice your way through forests and dungeons, and gain XP like candy at a loot-themed Halloween party. The ability tree lets you specialize your destruction. More damage? Sure. Elemental magic that turns enemies into crispy critters? Even better. And the gear? Oh baby. Monsters drop loot like they owe you rent. And fusion upgrades let you mod your sword like it's a Final Fantasy race car. And there you have it. The 15 isometric RPGs that set the bar on fire, rolled a natural 20, and walked away in slow motion. These games are all about brutal choices, unforgettable companions, and tactical chaos in the kind of overhead view that somehow makes every betrayal sting even more. Whether you prefer angels or anarchists, spellslingers or sword swingers, these RPGs will chew up your time and ask for seconds. If you've played them all, congrats, you're isometrically enlightened. If not, get downloading. Your next pixelated obsession awaits. Just remember to save often, yeah?
The elements are my allies, the dead are my servants, and fear will be my closest friend.